well tonight. We're going to be going over some very interesting stuff. Hopefully you can see that on screen. I'm really proud of this thumbnail, so I'm going to leave this up here for a second. I worked hard on this, did a couple new techniques, and I'm really, really, really happy with myself. Anyway, how's everybody doing? Happy early holidays. So it's the 23rd today. By the time I stream again, it'll be in the middle of the whole Christmas, then New Year's thing, and then the next one will be after the New Year's. So, hey Teddy, hey Jim, how you guys doing? Oh, you will not be saying anything on the War of 1812 today. Damn, I might have to change up the stream. Well, Teddy, you could have given me a heads up. I have a stream about something involving teddies that I'm working on. So that ought to be interesting. And by the way, welcome being on time, Jim. Been absolutely obsessed with the finals. That game is so good. My birthday was Wednesday, so I binged the finals and fried chicken all day. Oh, that doesn't sound like a bad way to spend a birthday now. At all. Especially being a winter baby, like... I can relate to that. I'm just after the new year, so yeah, I feel the feels of being a winter baby. And yeah, I've been kind of binging out on a couple games myself. I finally got myself Cyberpunk, and I got a couple other different games that I've been just checking out. Like Mad Max. I didn't even realize there was a Mad Max game, let alone that it was actually as good as it is. Driving mechanics kind of suck in both that and Cyberpunk, in my opinion, but it's not that bad. I didn't say it was necessarily related to you. It's related to Teddy's, and yeah, it's very interesting. I got a couple of different things. I learned about Claters and Clife and the Clamley today, and I'll probably explain that at some point because that person was really interesting. Let's just say Sweden's weird. Let's start and end there. See, I've never played Cyberpunk before, Jim. So I bought it stupidly on console, thinking that it was on the Game Pass, and like, oh yeah, it's obviously got to work on my computer too. Well, it only works on the console, and it doesn't transfer over to the computer, which is kind of weird. So then I kind of went ahead and bought myself a couple things on PC that I have for PC, but not on console. And I kind of like spent some time last week like really breaking things apart so that way my console games are only on console, my computer games are only on computer. So if I do get into playing something, I don't get into that weird habit of like, I do want to kind of stream stuff. I'm looking into setting up Twitch. I don't know how well it's going to go. But I'm going to probably put game stuff on Twitch and just see how that builds. And I didn't want to like start playing a game and then me forget what I'm doing and like be bored one day, play a game, and then like have my next stream be like, oh yeah, we're now at level 50. So because yeah, I wanted some continuity. But I've got a lot of weird different games going on. I'm looking at something going on now too, so it's a good time to look at it. Yeah, I've got a couple of things on my well look, Teddy, it's art, okay? As you can see by my thumbnail I created, I've already displayed my capabilities as an artist. This took me between 30 and 45 minutes, I'll have you know. And I definitely did not watch any YouTube videos to see how to do things like any of this. So this is all original artwork, I'll have you know too. I didn't steal any of this. Anyway. Yeah, I've been looking at a couple games. I got a couple games on my Steam wish list that are on sale right now, and I keep going back and forth on. I've got a pretty decent library built up on my computer right now. I've got a couple different things I want to look into, like the Yakuza series I've never played. A couple different like weirder, outlandish kind of games, like the White Door. Let me look at my gaming folder just really quick. I've got Stanley Parable, Thief, SCP Laboratory. I'm looking at some Five Nights at Freddy's stuff and a couple other different things that are on sale right now. Call of Cthulhu, Baldur's Gate, The Outer Worlds, which I really enjoyed. I'm really looking forward to the Outer Worlds game, the next one. Michelangelo can't say shit. He's dead. He honestly, if he can do this, by the way, Teddy, with Photoshop or any other Adobe tools, I'd like to see him try, because he's dead, and I guarantee his skeleton's been skeletized. I've got The Forest too. Hold on. I didn't want to blow anybody's eardrums out. But yeah, I got a couple different ones that play, and I figured out like what I need to do for my screen sizing and everything else. SCP Secret Laboratory, I don't know if I mentioned that. What else? Car Mechanic Simulator. I got a bunch of stuff through Xbox. No Man's Sky, Liza P. Liza P I'm pretty freaking awful at. Yakuza, Soma, Hitman, Hellblade, which I was playing on my own a little bit to start out. Really enjoying that game. Bramble the Mountain King, As Dusk Falls, Everspace. Oh, I did. Well, yeah, he is true. He was actually my favorite Ninja Turtle. Sorry, weird tangent. Anyway, yeah, so I got a bunch of different things to try. I've also got things like Car Mechanic Simulator, which, I'm sorry, but nerdy me loves that game. And, yeah. I don't know, I haven't wanted to blow a big chunk of money on stuff, so I've been looking and trying to weigh in on what I should get on Epic Games, if I got anything on Epic Games, versus what I would get on Steam, versus what I have available through Game Pass, and I think I kind of came up with a pretty good plan. So, let's see if I can get this switched over really quick, because we are going to need this up next. So, tonight's stream, I don't know how long it's going to last. Really? Come on now. That's the chat. That's not the chat. Why are we like this right now? Is it because I didn't have the window all the way open? Yep. Now it's there. Okay. Well, that was fun. So anyway, we're talking about a very interesting individual today, NateDawg, which I don't know if... So I had my stream, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, that I did the Lolcow stuff on, and we covered, Kiwi Tapes, we covered Smokey McSee and all their stuff, and, well, NateDawg here is kind of from that same sphere. He's a Lolcow hunter, is how he was getting it started out. He worked with a gentleman called Nick Nobody. There's going to be a reason why I'm only going to be showing one channel here, and we're going to kind of get into that if the screen capture, image, whatever verbs I'm trying to say and adjectives didn't kind of give it away. Nick Nobody was kind of like the Smokey to Kiwi, whatever way you want to put it together. Him and this NateDawg worked together as a team, and they were working on this podcast, and apparently there's only been a couple episodes of the podcast, and I believe that Nick has now taken them down due to everything that happened last weekend. Last weekend, I did my show, my lovely knitting drama that drove the commentary world ablaze, and absolutely nobody recognized it. Nobody talked about it. But you know what? I freaking loved doing it. So I still think that was one of the craziest freaking things to cover. And if there's more information comes about it on that, I'm so freaking covering it again. But anyway, got done with that, went to bed, woke up, I don't know, kind of late on Saturday. Like, normally I'm up at like 5 during the week. So, meaning by the time I get done here, sometimes I'm up for like roughly 20 hours. So went to bed, woke up and saw like some stuff on X, Twitter, or whatever from Smokey. And we can actually go and look at that because it's only a week ago. It shouldn't be that hard to find. Smokey. And I kind of want to pull up the tweet if it's still available. Blade. This is the 17th. Today's the 23rd. That'd be 6, so it's just before this. Sorry, math is not like... I do math a lot. Here we are. So this is the tweet I kind of wake up and see. And I was like, that Predator NateDawg. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Worst apology videos ever. I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on? Like, what did I just walk into? This seems pretty freaking crazy. And then I see Nick Nobody commenting on there and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, we're gonna need to check this out. So I go on, and one of the first things I see is Nick is doing this, as you can see, and I'm not going to go over the whole thing, 3-hour long, like, just ripping a dude apart live stream. And he is tearing into NateDawg, and I'm like, okay, I really cannot, like, watch this if I don't know what the hell is going on first. So, like a logical human being, I went looking for the NateDawg apology, found out the dude's whole channel is gone. His Twitter is gone. His Discord is gone. This guy has left the internet. And, you know, it's just one of those moments like where he wanted everything off the internet, and he did exactly that. He scrubbed everything. So after digging around, I found a couple like mirrors of the apology, and so I want to start there because I watched this apology and got really confused because he is awful at explaining things. But here, let's introduce you to NateDawg because this is as much introduction as I can give him. We don't have a channel to go over. We don't have like videos to look at. We can look at Nick's channel, and as you can see, Nick's not a small channel by any means. He's 34,000 subscribers. Apparently, NateDawg was smaller, bigger than I, which that pretty much anybody starting out is. He had, I think, 500 people, so it was a big comeuppance for him to work with someone like Nick and be doing this. It was a pretty big, you know, help a brother out type situation. But yeah, let's jump into this. Oh, hey, it would help if I had sound.
Because it's come to my attention.
Okay.
I am making this video because it's come to my attention that my content of character is completely bad. I want to set the record straight with everyone. I want to start where this all began, on a Discord VC call.
Nick Nobody's done a couple different documentaries. He covered and did a nice documentary on the White Bowser, which is kind of where him and NateDawg kind of like coalesced over, I guess. Is they both did different documentaries, both roughly the same length in time, around roughly the same period in time, and obviously they're covering, you know, how like Smokey and Kiwi found this guy. But as you can see, you know, Nick's got quite a few couple videos. I mean, he makes very, very good quality content. I really like Nick's got like that good voice for it. Just like Smokey, just like Kiwi, he had the voice for it. Not so much with this NateDawg guy, but NateDawg's I watched a couple of his videos. I will say what bothered me about NateDawg, and this is just me being a picky person, is he would like twist up linguistics a bit and like say things that out of order that didn't quite make sense or not use quite the right word to explain the situation. And I feel like when you're trying to articulate stories about crazy individuals, you have to be like pretty pretty depth with the English language as far as like not using words that just sound weird, I guess. I don't know. I'm very, very critical about that stuff. Like, I like to make sure that what I'm listening to, I like to listen to. Because a lot of times at work, I'm not watching the video. I'm listening, so I'm more attuned to what you're saying.
I'll be referring to these people as Person A, Person B,
let me
and
restart
Person
this,
C.
because he starts out like pretty confusing right
I
away.
want to start where this all began, on a Discord VC call. I'll be referring to these people as Person A, Person B, and Person C. I was in the VC call from around 8 US Central Time to at least 10 PM Central Time. It was towards the end of the call where I made a derogatory comment to Person B and it affected him mentally.
Okay, so a little clarification off the bat here, because he's using all these arbitrary like naming schemas, and so this takes place in Nick Nobody's Discord server. And what was going on is there was a game of Uno going on at some point, plus some other discussion. I don't remember how exactly in the timeline it falls, but we'll get to that. It's not very, very important. But Nick was in there and kind of said some off-the-cuff outlandish things to some mods of Nick Nobody's. And it just was not normal for him, I guess. And so people were kind of like, the hell's going on here? And anyway, it kind of escalates from there, but know that the people that are being described by letter are mods in Nick Nobody's server. Nick is not involved in these conversations. I'll let him show where he became involved in this stuff and what happened.
I was kicked out of the call and I came back to apologize. But by the time people were leaving the VC call because they felt uncomfortable, I couldn't blame them, and as much as I want to say sorry to person A, B, and C that I offended, there was just no words to share their forgiveness. Only person C was able to forgive me. This was all Nick Nobody's server, someone that I've been friends with for many months now. He told me...
Okay, and I know the messages are faded out a little bit there, but did you see how he's like, we have been at friends with? Like, just that kind of like... verbalizing of things is just what annoyed me with NateDawG's wording. Just so it's, look, I don't care if like you don't always have like the best word to describe like the situation. Just proper use of the English language or an attempt to correct yourself and pay attention to what you're saying, it goes a long way with me. Where he would just put things out there like this. So we're not gonna concentrate on what's being written here. There's gonna be a ton of dead air in screenplays and stuff that we're not gonna get into. That makes up probably 2/3 of this video that Nate put out, and this response, apology, whatever the hell you want to call it, video is awful. Okay, he took a potato, put the potato underwater with a camera inside of the potato, and then Bluetooth this picture to himself from a Mac to a PC, and that's kind of how we got the image we got now.
Me that the podcast was over, and I wanted to apologize to everyone. Nick told me that he would never force his friends to do an apology, and that he wanted his community to be healthy and safe within his strides. I took the punishment, and I agreed, and I moved on. I fully apologized to persons A, B, and C. I'm not going to be showing anybody's names here, because it seems like some people want to compare me to another certain predator that I have covered in this channel. It was then that person D showed up to my DMs. He'll be no longer promoting my videos or anything like that. I told him Tuffy already told me, and how Nick and Tuffy already told me all this stuff. I already told Subject D that I wanted to make good amends with people, and I didn't care about the money, and I didn't care about the deals or anything like that. I even told Nick that I wanted to repay him from all of the money that I have made on the podcast.
Now, mind you, I want to touch on this. He says that like it's a lot of money. From what I understand, it's like $200.
That we had.
And I don't think there was any other percentage deals that Nick has mentioned. So I'm pretty sure it was just the money generated off of them doing a similar to Too High for Stupid podcast.
Together. But going back to main subject, just so we can't get off track, Person C agrees to my apology.
See, he did it again there, going back to main subject. Going back to the main subject. It's just those little... They drove me nuts when I was listening to his videos, because it happens quite frequently, you'll see.
And suggested that I need to get therapy, which in my personal opinion, there is nothing mentally wrong with me in any sort of way. I might have a little bit of temper problems, but that doesn't really worry me. I have been talking to this person for about 2 months.
We're going to see the type of problems that Nate really got. And let me tell you, temper is kind of like the milder of the problems he got going on.
And they have been nothing but kind to me. And as for Person A and Person B, they haven't been responding to my apology. And if you're watching this right now, there is no words to describe of what you have been through your entire life.
He did it again there, of what you've been through. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to keep pointing these out because they drive me nuts.
I am truly sorry for offending you in the most revolting way. I represented my community, and I represented it bad, and I am sorry for putting you all through this. Nothing would come of Friday, but as of recording right now of 12/16/2023,
They did it again.
Person C would come to me and asked me, what is your relationship with Person E? Now, me with Person E are only mutual friends. I met her whenever I was 18, and she was 16.
Okay, I think this is where we're going to kind of be jumping ahead a little bit. I'll leave it go. I'm going to try and jump a little. Yeah, because there's a lot of dead air, and his pictures are so awful that I cannot be attempting to even read them. But just know that all of this stuff is going to come up again when we go through Nick's video.
Her only because she...
Oh, and there's also another name.
I only...
I would disagree, honestly. I blink it. Everyone should have therapy because no one ever is 100% fine all the time. I agree wholeheartedly with that, Jim. I like that. So there's a lot of screenshots that are going to come up with all of this, and you're going to see them with Nick too. The ironic thing is that a lot of these shots came from Nate. So these were supplied to the people. You're also going to see, and this is what I was just about to say, that there is another name for NateDawg. He likes to call himself, and you'll see that brought up, and I will point it out when we get there.
Talked to her only because she kept on DMing me. I talked to her, but I never pursued anything with her in any form.
I think we get more dead air here.
Server now. And then Subject D comes into my DMs and told me, understand this, Nate, you fucked up majorly right now. How dare you go into this community, hurt my friends, and do creepy shit with minors in your server. Understand this, this is out of my hands, you're being thrown to the wolves, and I hope...
So there you go, we got our first little peek behind the curtain there with that sentence. You know, you're doing weird stuff with minors.
You enjoy every second of it. Then presents me a screenshot of Subject F. At first, I don't even know who the fuck this
We're gonna get into some more of those receipts too.
Person is. And then when I looked at the logs of the Discord server, and it's a person that I share with a Discord commentary server, I was showing an...
He did it again there.
animation that they saw, I talked about how my work was, and since I was planning to make a King Cobra video for September, but I scrapped that idea, I asked them to make a King Cobra thumbnail. I asked if they want to make it detailed. They said that it would actually cost money, and I didn't have enough money at the time because I was working on a Cyrex video.
He expects that free child labor. Don't be coming at him expecting to pay for his child labor, damn it.
And then that's where our conversation ended. There was no grooming, I was not asking for her nudes, and I wanted just a thumbnail art piece.
So, the one defense that I will give him is, in all of this, I've not seen any proof of him asking for nudes. I took a long pause after that because I wanted to make sure that you understood that I wasn't conflating that with anything else. He only didn't ask for nudes.
Subject D explained to me, then why do you have roles for single, taking, and looking for someone? Now, let me explain something right here. When I designed my server last year of 20...
He's going to explain this like this is a totally normal fucking thing. And you know what? I got a Discord server, and for the most part, it's me talking to myself. And by me talking to myself, I mean I literally throw up thumbnails and stuff that like I am proud of in my main channel area. And then, like, here, I am not afraid to show my Discord on anything. Like, welcome to my voluptuous Discord here. It's got so many things going on. As you can see, I talked to myself last week and now this past week when I made these thumbnails. I talked to myself about putting more effort in my thumbnails, and then another thumbnail, and then another thumbnail, and then chat. Like, literally, it's been a solid month or more since anybody's talked in my general area. I have an airport area that announces arrivals and departures, and as you can see, there has not been anything going on since November in this area. My stream announcement area, which doesn't even appear to be working since, like... Oh, no. No, I think it's announcing. It's just going... It's not bringing in the pictures that I wanted. Okay. My drama feed, which is just an area for me to keep up with, you know, what's going on. I have a Lolcow area of my own because there's people like Tipster I like to keep tabs on. And since he blocked me before I even had a YouTube channel, this is the easiest way for me to keep track of him. Other than that, stream self-promotion, non-drama stuff, card stuff, and that's about it. I think I even got rules. Not that anybody's here to read them, but, like, keep it respectful. Don't dish it if you can't take it. I am literally rule number 3. I'm not here. I'm not your Tinder. Yeah, I mean, I had a not safe for work section, but that kind of seemed dumb since I'm literally the only person in here. But I literally mentioned, like, I'm not going to be liable for someone's kid getting exposed to some weirdo. I actually went through, and as you can see, I've removed that section. Like, you can see full hidden channels and everything right now. It's not in there. Yeah, I mean, other than that, that's kind of basically it. But just to show you, like, it doesn't have to be a particular way, okay? Because he's going to go out of his way to justify stuff to you right now. And I want people to understand that, like, Discord don't gotta be that way.
2022, I was still in the furry fandom. Every furry server that I knew had the type of roles of taken, not taken, single, their sexuality, etc., etc. I wanted to paint my server just like that, so we can have a more presentation, so members can talk.
He did it again. Ugh. More presentation. More presentable. Anyway, what I was going to say is that I just want you to pay attention that now his avatar is going to kind of maybe make a little more sense. He's part of the furry crowd, which I really don't care. I mean, you do you, and I do me, and me doing me does not involve furry stuff. That's basically the extent of me on furries. But he's big into the furry lifestyle, and there are weird fetishes within the furry thing. This kind of goes down a pyrocynical type weird fetish path. And yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that might be applicable here. I don't think that that was the only thing that he had for, like, you know, templates. He could have just looked up how to set up things. He could have not set things up. I mean, I've seen things that I thought were good ideas that I had in my server and I've taken out, and basically it's the way I want now because it gives me the content that I want when I want
and
it.
chat and everything. To say that I purposely have a verification check so I can go talk to a certain age group is so fucking disgusting. I never use...
That is a lie. And I'm going to show you how that's a lie because he implemented something. Okay, so Discord, obviously, outside of whatever its terms of service
Use this as a weapon.
does not have like a verification check in it, as far as I know. I'm not really like a Discord like savant. I'm more of a Discord idiot. I have a Discord basically because like I thought it was a useful tool. I think it still would be a useful tool if I ever build up an audience enough, but yeah, it is a tool to me. It is not a lifestyle like some people see it. But yeah, I don't know. I disagree with how he has his setup. He actually has questions and things like that that are like auto-populated when you join, which I've had different like servers that I've gone into that are like that, and they'll auto-assign you roles and things like that, and it's really cool, but like I don't have the crowd for that kind of crap. I'd honestly be terrible to me and have public Discord. There really is so much that can go wrong, Jim. You're not wrong there. Like I am very leery about who I have in my Discord, which is why I have like the airport and stuff, so like I can keep tabs. Like if it ever started getting out of control, I'd want to keep an eye on things, and honestly I'd probably lock it down eventually. But realistically right now it's mostly creators. I'm not looking to like continue to grow it. I've got it like in my socials and stuff, but it's a tool for me. And the big thing is that, you know what? I'm not here to, like, you're not coming to my Discord for anything other than content that's centered around me, honestly. I don't think that you should be there for anything else. Like, it's the fucking internet. There's other places to go do other things that you want.
Weapon to hurt other people. And if you look at my server right now, there is nothing about child porn,
we're gonna get into this.
furry degeneracy. I don't even allow that in my art department. I even have it as safe for work only. To have people say that this was like Earl Doobie's server is just disgusting and it's horrible in my eyes. Because I had to calm myself down after people kept on pinging me saying that I should go off myself, calling me the pedo freak, a fur fag, and everything across the sun. There's also another subject that I would discuss with Subject G.
Right here. We're going to pause right here just because I want you to see, like, the questions. And this will come up later on, too. And this is, like, the least cringe, disgusting. Pick your terms. So, his Discord server, when you join, has a bunch of questions. The joiner answers these questions, and they're in
subject
non-bold font. His questions are in the bolded font, and then other than that, you get like just a generic like ticket queue status type information. So UTC Universal Time Coordinated just goes off of a Greenwich Mean Time of 0, which, you know, depending on your time zones, you're either plus or minus off of GMT. So that's the more you know. And so these are the questions that are asked of every user joining. This individual's name has been blurred out, so I'm not worried about it. I believe their name also shows up here. And so he has a bot, which I've got a bot kind of similar, but not with like all this elaborate question crap. So you can see this was on 11/27/21. Okay, so this is an older one as well. So this person's probably pretty much 17, 18 now, depending on how old at 15 they were then. Who knows? I'm not going to get into that. But it just says NateDawg accepted this user. Okay, so we know who accepted the person into the server. We know when. And then, how did you find the server? Owner DM me. Well, being NateDawg's server, you can kind of infer that it's NateDawg who invited them. What is your age? 15. What is your favorite video of NateDawg's? Haven't seen any. That's a common similar reply you'll see threaded. And then, what the dog doing? Which, oh my fucking god. Chilling and wrestling. So this person came in to like kind of be talking with them on the whole wrestling side of things, which I never really was big into wrestling after like age like, I don't know, 5, 7, something like that. My brother was, and I think he still is, but it wasn't my thing. And I don't knock people for liking it. I'm not here to knock on wrestling. What I'm here to do is knock on this motherfucker for letting fucking kids into the server.
On a commentary server of last year, people over the last few hours said that I groomed this person. The only thing that we ever talked about was ECW. I never asked his age was. I never asked for his sex and location.
You did ask for what his age was, so you just lied right there in your fucking apology.
Never asked for his nudes or anything explicit. In fact, I barely even talked to this person. And yet, people having the issue that I let this person into my server saying that I wanted to groom them. Which that is not the case at all. They said they wanted me to be friends in VR chat, and I declined because I don't feel comfortable playing video games with people that are not of my age. Oh, but you feel comfortable by bringing minors in your server. I bring people to my...
Oh, for context, by the way, not that I feel like it matters, and I'm going to point out why. NateDawg's like 20. I want to say comfortably 20. It's possibly late 19, early 21, but 20 kind of puts me in a comfortable spot.
Server because I want to share my content with them. Nothing more, and I just wanted to make people happy, and that's it. And now I just feel like getting rid of my Discord server in general because of all of this. It didn't help the fact that Subject D would just say that I am a horrible person, and just to tell the whole Lolcow TCG and the Kiwi Tapes and Smoky server.
Lolcow TCG is a Lolcow trading card game, which it's actually kind of cool if you haven't looked into it. There is a Lolcow trading card game. They even have a Lolcow Awards, a Puff Memorial card. Just a couple fun different like boxes. I know they've had some other different products too that they've offered, shirts, whatnot. If you're into the Lolcow sphere, maybe go check them out. Pricing and stuff is not bad either. I thought about looking into just a couple different things, but yeah, they have these different promos that they're going to be releasing, and they're kind of like a Pokemon Magic the Gathering-esque card. I believe there's like a legit whole game and everything. They have playmats as well. Yeah. So, back to our video.
That I actually go after kids. It's a bad look on me and on this community. It really hurt me to see Smokey McCrack say that I'm like fucking Earl 2.0. I never went after kids. I never had a criminal record of groping someone. I always got along with my peers and community very well.
He didn't grope anybody. He didn't ask for the sexual images, and he didn't grope anybody.
I don't want sympathy. I'm just setting the record straight for everybody in this community. I should have got rid of those roles that made me into a bad light, because it reminded me of a certain song
that showed me in a bad light.
one that I just mentioned a few seconds ago, and I am nothing like that in real life. I am nothing like that when I go to work. I am nothing like that when I go to the gym. I am nothing like that when I take care of my mother who has a broken ankle and no ovaries, where she also has bronchitis pneumonia. But like I said earlier, I am...
We gotta listen to that again. Listen to all these things going on with Mama.
Go to the gym. I am nothing like that when I take care of my mother who has a broken ankle and no ovaries, where she also has bronchitis pneumonia. But like...
Bronchitis or pneumonia? I don't think you can have a double infection, I think, with both. But it's not one thing. Also, R.I.P. Mama Dog's ovaries.
Like I said earlier, I am not here to garner sympathy. I just want to get the record straight. I am sorry for the ones that I've hurt verbally. I'm sorry if I presented my Discord in such a horrible way that it made me look like a fucking freak, even though it made me look like an ass just to have it on there still. And that's my apology for not getting rid of it sooner. Not because I was caught not getting rid of it, because you wanted me to paint me as a horrible person for going after minors in my server. And with that being said, I'm sorry for inviting server members that were under the age of 17 or 18 years of age, even though I never wanted to go after them sexually in any form of matter whatsoever. What I am sorry for is for talking to Subject E. Even though I was 19 at the time, and never said anything explicit to this minor, even though we had a 2.5-year age gap, it was still wrong for me to talk to this person, and it's still wrong for me to talk to this person now. I don't care if they're my friend, I'd rather leave it as that. I don't know them personally, and I do not want to know them personally. Period. End of statement. It is my responsibility to not be talking to these people in any form whatsoever. Have I ever exploited them in any way? No, I have not. I never really talked to them in any way, only as a mutual short talk. I never went after Subject F in any form. I only wanted to commission them in artwork over a thumbnail that I was going to do on King Cobra.
And not pay them because child labor can't be paying for that shit.
They gave me a heavy price, and I wasn't going to commission them, and that was it of our conversation. Nothing sexual exploitive, I didn't ask for their nudes, and that was it. For Subject G, all they ever showed me was stop-motion wrestling action figures from the ECW era, which I thought were so fucking cool. I never asked for his nudes. I wouldn't even talk for him for months on end, only short conversations, and that was it. I like how Subject D was saying that I wanted them to cuddle me, even though they put that as a
we're gonna get into that
response. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't like physical human contact, and I am not into any degeneracy of pleasuring myself for having like someone answer me that. I didn't want to talk to them after they couldn't give me a good price, and that was it. Subject D said that I said that there's no discussion of age in the server. I felt very uncomfortable that people would just say that, oh, I'm 17. I didn't want any of that in my server. I feel very disgusted on what I said to Subject A, B, and C, saying that they were a pedo and just a horrible person in general. In reality, I put them down, and I am extremely sorry for...
I don't understand. I don't understand, like, why the whole no discussion of ages. Like, I don't know if that was some plausible deniability on his part or what. But, like, I would rather know people's ages. And then, especially, like, if you're not wanting to talk about ages, why are you asking that as, like, literally, what was it, question number 2?
For that. As for everyone else, I'm sorry for making a piss stain out of your community. And I'm trying very professionally to say that I am sorry for all of this. At this point on how it's looking, I don't know if I feel comfortable anymore making videos. I'm gonna have this video up for your pinned at my home channel, and I'll be taking a break from the internet. A very, very long break from the internet, as in I won't talk to anybody. I'll completely get rid of my Discord server, because I don't think I can mentally take it anymore with these life-ruining accusations. I have nothing else to say but setting the record straight. And with that being said, hope you have a day, and goodbye.
Okay, so that was NateDawG's apology video that like I woke up to, right? So then I'm like wondering what the hell is going on. So we're gonna get into this. This I'm gonna save for last. We're gonna first touch on a recent video. So this is only a couple days ago. Nick Nobody put out like an official video, which he mentions in this stream that he was going to do. And I didn't want to do my stream until I was sure that he actually was going to have this video out there, because I wanted to kind of get his consolidated, non like aggro type perspective on everything. And because basically NateDawg here has kind of become basically a Lolcow in a way. He's kind of taken the White Bowser, seen that as a challenge, and said, how can I do this but quicker? And here's where my problems with NateDawg are going to arise. Okay, so you're over the age of 18 doing all this stuff. That's cool. Whatever. I really don't give a shit about that. What I do give a shit about is that you are covering people that you see do degenerate and stupid and awful things all the time. And particularly, you've covered in depth the White Bowser and what they've done with their server and miners and everything else. And you still saw it as a good idea to interact with miners how you did. And I do not freaking think for a moment that is excusable, regardless of your age. Like, it is inexcusable to sit there and know as much as you know about the internet, about individuals on the internet, and to still go through and do all this shit. He looked into the Lolcow abyss, but unlike the rest of us, he blinked. I like that. That he did. Yeah, or he never blinked. I don't know. The way that Nick Nobody and a couple other people are putting it is basically he played with the poo. He saw the poo, he poked the poo, he smelt the poo, he looked at the poo, and then, unlike everybody else, he played with it. This guy is just, the stuff we're going to get into is kind of inexcusable. Nick's video is not very long, which, thank you, Nick. I appreciate the hell out of that, because he covers so much good, solid content with way better screenshots in a shorter period of time. He went full on. He went full on money and started monkey. Oh, went full on monkey and started flinging it around. yeah, he did. Okay, so I want to make sure. Oh, God. I forgot. I muted like every single one of these so that if they did accidentally start playing, it wouldn't like ruin the stream, but now I'm an idiot and I keep forgetting to unmute.
NateDawg is a 20-year-old furry YouTube commentator that covers lolcows and TikTok degenerates. At least he was, until he decided to nuke his entire channel after it was discovered that he was running a furry Discord server with minors in it. Not only was there minors in his server, but it was also found out that he was personally DMing them and inviting them to his server. How did you find this server? Owner DM'd me.
You're totally fine, Jim. But yeah, I get it. I screw up typing way worse on my phone than ever on a keyboard or anything like that.
What is your age? 15. There's even evidence of Nate role-playing with one of these minors. Cause, you stink. You stink, fresh air. So because I'm clean, that's dirty to you? And to make me clean, you rub mud on my face? Yeah, just like that. I was clean and you were dirty, so that's why I did that. Sprays bottle. That's a bad bunny. This is a 20-year-old man role-playing with a high school girl. All of these things would come to light because of...
This is one of my favorite pictures to come out of this, by the way. It literally, this is how quickly things escalated over a game of Uno.
An incident over an Uno game inside my very own Discord server. That's right, they say Monopoly ruins friendships. Well, it turns out that Uno uncovers files. The Nick Nobody admin team went into the trenches to uncover some very disturbing things. So
this is his SEAL Team 6 here of people that I believe several of them were involved with the discussion and Uno game, and I know specifically two people named here like actually went in and really hardcore started looking and taking screenshots of his server, which is how we got as much information as we did about this person, how degenerate they are. So shout out to all these people.
This is the story of NateDawg. The golden rule when you make videos on lolcows and internet degenerates is don't touch the poop. This story is
Teddy, you have the best lines. Can I just say that? I come back and the first thing I hear is Uno uncovers pedophiles. And honestly, I see it. Yeah. You wait till you see what Monopoly uncovers.
a prime example of what happens when you unknowingly touch the poop for multiple months. I met NateDawg a few months ago when he joined my Discord server. Having seen some of his videos on Cyrax and a couple other people, I thought it would be cool to befriend another creator in the same space as me. After a couple months of being friends with the guy, we decided to start a weekly podcast called The Roundup, where each week we would discuss updates on lolcows and people alike. And it would be around this time where Nate starts to get a little too comfortable with the people around him, and the kind of person Nate is really starts to leak out. 4 episodes of The Roundup would go off without a hitch and even had features from other notable members in this community like Biff the Werewolf and Cow Wrangler. It was on the 5th week where Nate for some reason would decide to go mask off and fully drop the nice guy character he was putting on. This is the week his infamous Uno game freakout would happen and cause my admin team to fully start looking into all of his shit. On December 11th, Nate would join a voice chat between some of the members in my server and my staff.
The irony of it, okay, hold on. I've got to do a thing. And I want to pull it off screen and I'm going to bring it back on screen. This is just me being a nerd. So if you don't remember, let's see, so it'd have been oh, I'm off by a couple days. I'm off by almost half a week. Oh god, never mind. I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm not bringing it back on screen. I apologize. I'm confused. Did touching the poop turn him into a predator in that much time? Or was he already a predator and being in his community opened them up to criticism? I think it's the latter. I honestly think it's the latter. Imagine having such a spurg out over Uno that it leads to you being revealed as a yeah. This gets it's pretty intense pretty quick. I don't remember how much is shown in this video of certain things, and I'm just going to skim it for content. Okay, yeah, it is shown in this video.
The members were having a nice conversation about mental health and how they deal with depression. Nate thought it was appropriate to tell everyone in the call to quit their yapping and that their stories were trifling to listen to. He then launched into a story about how he got into a fight and purposely punched a woman in the face. When the members inside the voice channel started telling Nate what he was...
If that doesn't scream badassery to you, let me tell you, you know, I tremble with fear whenever I'm out amongst the aristocrats of the internet, and I'm confronted by an aggressive, furry, wrestling fan PDF file who talks to me about how my mental health is trifling. And let me tell you though about how I punched a woman in the face once. Yeah.
Was saying wasn't funny and inappropriate, he decided to argue with everyone. He even went as far as calling my head admin a groomer because they said they cared about my community. Really
Yes. Jim, yes. So that sounds like the King Cobra JFS story. Some guy called me a loser. I told him I was autistic and used my dark wizard powers and he got the flu. Yes, quit your yapping. I feel like quit your yapping has got to be used with more affinity within the furry community. I feel like that's a turn of phrase that they could they could just sink into. They could sink their claws into it, sink their teeth into it, just own it. Yeah.
Disgusting and disturbing things to be saying to people that he barely knows. And on top of that, these are the people that show up and watch a show that he's a part of every week. This incident sure reminds me of a certain person I just got done making an hour-long documentary on. That's right, NateDawg and White Bowser are so comically alike it's not even funny. After Nate's initial freakout, he would be kicked from the server and offer a very half-assed apology.
This is his actual apology to the people in that server, by the way. I just want to say, I'm sorry if it felt like your opinion didn't matter to me. I made a joke that I were yapping. The more I thought about it, the more I felt bad. I think it's I just felt bad. English has got to be a second language here.
To the three.
I don't know if I can say anything wholesome from the heart that would matter to you. Yeah, well, you know what? I'll just let you guys read that. I'm just gonna leave it on the screen. I'm gonna count to like something in my head, and then when I think that me as the slowest learning disabled person probably in here trying to read this has made it to the end, I'll hit play on the video again. And don't worry if it doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me either, by the way. Okay, now that we've basked ourselves in the linguistical artistry that NateDawg has put out in the world as an actual apology.
Members he was attacking. I want to say I'm sorry if it felt like your opinion didn't matter to me. I made a joke that you were yapping. The more I thought about it, I just felt bad for not to think that I was saying. I feel better now, don't worry, but if I can say anything wholesome from the heart, it is that you matter and the world needs you. In less than 4...
I forgot that he read it. And he just read it so much better than I could have ever put that together in my brain. You know the freaking like guy from it didn't make sense to you. I thought I was hardcore. Here's the thing, like I love how masterfully Nick just read that like effortlessly. Okay, like I'm just
48 hours felt bad apology to the documentary on. That's right, NateDawg and White Bowser are so comically alike it's not even funny. After Nate's initial freakout, he would be kicked from the server and offer a very half-assed apology to the 3 members he was attacking. I want to say I'm sorry if it felt like your opinion didn't matter to me. I made a joke that you were yapping. The more I thought about it, I just felt bad for not to think that I was saying. I feel better now, don't worry, but if I can say anything wholesome from the heart, it is that you matter and the world needs you. In less than 48 hours after the first...
He reads that so well for being written so horribly. Coming in my neighborhood and stealing my women. Yeah.
First freakout on the night of the 13th, Nate would join my server again and go back into a voice chat with the same exact group of people. This time my staff and other members were playing Discord Uno, and this is where Nate's story explodes. Being
so legit was related to an Uno.
Unable to cope with losing a few rounds of Uno, Nate seemingly blows a gasket. He starts spouting off and screaming at everybody in the call. And then he would go on to dox one of the members
I can tell Nick deals with Lolcows because his Lolcow pretty really hard language to learn. Yep. And you're 100% right. Like his predisposition to be able to look at that and know exactly what was intended for better than 90% of it. Yeah, he's a whisperer for sure. He's a yappa.
personal information that was told to him in private. Over the course of 30 minutes, he would be muted and kicked from the voice channel over 20 times. And he would join the voice channel one last time to announce to everyone that he has nothing to apologize for, and then he was swiftly kicked from my server. It was at this point all of Nate's antics would be brought to my attention from everyone that was involved. And
I just want to go out and say, like, he has got to have, like, one of the best Discord mod teams ever for them to, like, be as patient as they were. 20 times this person was kicked before they were, like, actually banned from the server. Because they respected him enough to not just, like, ban him off of one, like, screw-up. Understanding that Nick's trying to build a business doing his podcast together with this guy.
And upon learning all the horrible things Nate was doing and saying inside my server to my community members, I swiftly ended my working relationship with him. I went ahead and reached out to him.
And by the way, this is, first of all, the non-potatified, waterfied Mac to Windows PC version of the messages that NateDawg showed. And I believe Nick reads kind of some of this, but if not, I'm going to leave it paused here. You can always come back and take a look at this. He handles this with so much, like, courtesy and respect and decency. And he looks flawless from how he went about doing this.
To let him know what he had been doing was disgusting and totally unacceptable, and that the podcast was over. These things did not sit right with me or the Nick Nobody admin team, and we decided to start taking a closer look into Nate. And this is when we discover what's inside Nate's Discord server.
So this server is now gone. But as I'll just pause so you can read some of the joyful chicanery that is in store for you.
You see, Nate had a verification bot for his server that made you
Flooftown.
answer a few questions before you were allowed in. A couple of these questions were, how did you hear about the server? And how old are you? This is where the story gets really dark, because we were able to get our hands on some of the most recent applications for the server. And it turns out there are tons of minors that are applying and being accepted into Nate's server. And to make matters even worse, most of the ones we were able to see were personally invited by Nate himself. How did you find this server? Echoes. What is your age? 14. Status, NateDawg accepted this user. How did you find this server? Owner DM'd me. What is your age? 15. Status, NateDawg accepted this user. How did you find this server? NateDawg himself. What is your age? 15. And here's a really bad one. How did you find this server? The owner. What is your age? 16, but I turned 7.
And now, mind you, some of these are like a year old or 2 years old, but still, like, he's not kicked these people as far as we know.
17 in a few weeks. What the dog doing? Cuddling with me. Yeah, I could only imagine why this 16-year-old would put that she's cuddling with Nate on her application. If that's not incredibly suspicious, I don't know what is. Another incredibly suspicious thing is a message NateDawg would post himself. No.
And this was the beginning of this year. So I just want to point that date out. So January 16th, 2023.
Discussing.
Roughly, so basically call it January 17th.
Of ages in the server, please. This is really disgusting when you find out Nate had dating roles his members could assign, being single, taken, and searching for someone. So Nate created this dangerous environment where minors and adults can freely interact with each other and see if they're looking to date each other. But
okay, and so I want to stop right there before we get into the next part and say that there's some shit that's coming up that's just gross. So, I mean, obviously, it's gross enough that, like, he's allowed minors into this server, full well knowing better. Like, again, I just want to stress, this guy of people who should know better. So, the White Bowser, why he gets picked on so bad is he was actually in Smokey's community and really liked how Smokey and Kiwi and all of them covered different Lolcows, especially, I think there was some stuff with, like, Cyrix and stuff like that. And so, you know, he kind of understood the Lolcow side. And so when it came out that he's not a great individual, I feel like, you know, he got hit harder because he should have known better. And I don't feel like they're wrong to do that. This person having come from not only, like, been in the community, but creating videos so you research, so you're knowing, like, I know when I do research, and I know a lot of my research is basically my streams, like I show it to you, like here's what I found. But when you're researching this different stuff, you learn more things that you don't always necessarily cover in your streams. Like, you know, there's things like I jump around, like I showed you only portions of the video. I already knew like that there was a lot of dead air in that. I know Nick's video is good. I know we're going to cover, you know, some of Biff's stuff, and Biff was involved in all of this. I show you kind of, you know, the breakdown of Nick's videos and everything else. So like, I just, I know that there's a lot of stuff that goes into, even with my minimal, and I don't want to act like I do a lot of research. A lot of my research is finding the times, the topics, trying to put things together, and put it in a coordinated way so that it's easy to digest in the time that I go over it in my stream. Because kind of normally once it's done here, it's done. Unless it's something that's going to be evolving, I'm probably not going to come back to it. I'm not out, you know, contacting people left and right for things. I'm not really prepared enough to be having people on to interview at this point yet, but he was. And so he's been doing this couple of years. Like, his familiarity with all this should have been like above and beyond.
But they're not supposed to talk about each other's age. How Nate can't see this as a giant red flag.
True, Teddy. Teddy's got the exact right opinion there. Allowing minors is fine, but just don't allow minors.
Flag and a huge problem, I don't know. One of the first things we saw in his general chat is this conversation. Fuck off. Never. Suck dick. Bet. I'll suck yours first. I'm 14. LMAO. Always works. But he was 18 in dog years. How Nate was able to make an hour-long...
That is just the start of where we're going to get into some of the gross stuff. Now, I don't believe this gets prefaced in Nick's video for a good reason, because the video, and he's a larger content creator, and kind of pointing this out might draw the wrong ires, or not ires, I guess, the wrong, like, the wrong looks from YouTube, especially, you know, being a bigger creator that he is. But you're going to see another username pop up here called Anal Wolf. I'll let you guess out of the two individuals on screen which one is Anal Wolf. Lock in your votes. It's not the guy in the mirror. See him? Okay.
Long documentary on the White Bowser, all while having a Discord full of minors in it himself, is absolutely insane to me. And he was actively messaging these minors and inviting them to his server himself. There's another thing we found inside Nate's Discord server, and that's the infamous Beans channel. In this channel, you can find furry foot fetish art that was open and on display for minors to look at. While there isn't any drawn genitalia on these animals, it is clearly foot fetish art, something you shouldn't be sharing to minors. Another thing we caught Nate doing is roleplaying with a 17-year-old. And how did we get our hands on these chat logs?
Look at the date on this stuff, though. Look at when this is. This is the bunny stuff.
Between Nate and this minor. Nate himself sent these to us to prove that there was nothing inappropriate.
Hello. Hiya. Hi. That's a hell of a name. Teddy, I think you need to change your name on Twitter. Just saying. It screams ladies' man.
Going on. So let's read a few of them. Yeah, how are you? I'm fine, I guess. What about you? I am good. Great to know. Yeah. Hugs. Yeah. I want bunny drawing. I want Nate. Why do you want me? And we can see that it was edited, so Lord knows what that original sentence was. 'Cause, you stink. You stink, fresh air. So this is like going on for almost a year that they've been like role playing back and forth, because if you look at the previous messages and these, you're talking about January to now November. I'm clean, that's dirty to you? And to make me clean, you rub mud on my face? Yeah, just like that. I was clean and you were dirty, so that's why I did that. Sprays bottle. That's a bad bunny. Why? I'm a very good bunny. Proof?
I like the Slender Friend, though. I feel like that's a really good name. Teddy can totally play up the anal wolf, though. But I appreciate it, Jim.
Yeah, guys, nothing going on here. Nothing at all. After all this information was leaked to the public on December 15th, it was pretty much the end for Nate. Smokey MCC learned about the situation and tweeted this: "Jesus Christ, NateDawg. F***ing Earl 2.0. Nate would private all of his videos and private his Discord server following these revelations and go radio silent for the day. On the morning of December 16th, Nate would post an apology video to prove his innocence."
And so, like, this is me, like, kind of learning about all this stuff. So, let's see, the 16th. Yeah, so literally Friday into Saturday is when this all happened.
Making this video because it's come to my attention that my content of character is completely bad. I want to set the record straight with everyone.
Your English.
I want to start where this all began, on a Discord VC call.
In this apology video, Nate would go on to describe what happened in his own words. And then he would release tons of DMs he was having back and forth with a minor that he was caught role-playing with.
Appropriate music.
Nate would say this is just role-playing story stuff with a minor that he's been talking to for the last year and a half. Keep in mind, Nate is almost 21 years old and the minor mentioned just turned 17.
Okay, so that gives you a little bit better understanding of the age discrepancy. Let alone, like, people talk about power imbalances here. Like, legit, like, this is one of the few times I can kind of point out and be like, yeah, this is obviously clearly a power imbalance type thing. Obviously, you know, there's the power imbalance between Nate and Nick is trying to help a smaller creator become a bigger creator by doing all this good stuff with him. But then you got the power imbalance between the creator, who is Nate, and creating this Discord, putting out this content and drawing people in, and him being like, oh, I'm a YouTube creator. And you could see that there's a little bit of narcissism and stuff, and even with the questions that he asked of which videos of mine do you like? Like, I think it's fucking weird, but...
I talked to her only because she kept on DMing me. I talked to her, but
And I didn't point this out initially. That's some fucking victim-blaming bullshit right there. Fucking, she kept talking to me. So fucking ignore her. Kick her out. Like, there's so many fucking options. Like, okay, I was in a chat recently. A different creators, like, space that they create, and they do, like, this kind of big, like, mudslinging kind of area. And I've heard on there a couple times that there is no bullying on the internet. And I disagree. Because the perspective that they're coming from is that there is no bullying as an adult on the internet. Okay? You can shut off the internet, you can leave. And I think more so with kids, yes, there is absolutely bullying as long as you're in a school environment, whether that's a college, a high school, elementary school, whatever, because there's some inescapability to it. You have people there that are going to try and reach out just to do things inappropriately to you. So they view the internet as an escapism, more so probably than adults. We have it as a luxury. We escape. We do our games. We do our, viewing this kind of content. Some of you come here and listen to me, which I apologize for that escape. But, as an adult, yes, it's a lot easier to sit there and say you can escape this stuff. As a kid, I feel like it's a lot harder to feel like you can escape this stuff, and it doesn't get mentioned enough.
I never pursued anything with her in any form. Sure, there was like roleplay stories here and there, shown in these DMs.
Another thing he would do in the apology video is complain about all the mean things people were saying about him post-Discord leaks. And then he would go on to talk about how he is a good person because he is taking care of his disabled...
I'm sorry, this mother thing comes up and it's just so funny. It's so fucking funny.
In the apology video is complain about all the mean things people were saying about him post-Discord leaks. And then he would go on to talk about how he is a good person because he is taking care of his disabled mother.
And I am nothing like that in real life. I am nothing like that when I go to work. I am nothing like that when I go to the gym. I am nothing like that when I take care of my mother who has a broken ankle and no ovaries, where she also has bronchitis pneumonia. But like I said earlier...
That sounds a lot like the White Bowser, doesn't it? And this...
I'm sorry, but like when you post like things wrong with your mother, like, and of the things wrong, like two of them are healable. Like she's gonna get over the broken ankle and probably the bronchitis or pneumonia, whichever she, maybe both. She'll probably get over both of them, but R.I.P. them ovaries. I agree, especially when things escalate like swatting. Yep. I think most cyberbullying, though, you have a decent degree of power to deal with it, and whether it's reporting, blocking, and the like. I agree with that. You do. See, I that's where I don't agree with the victim blaming that he's doing here, because he knows better. Like, let's not let that escape us. This dude fucking knew better before he ever initiated a single chat with this person. He knows better as not only an adult, but an adult that covers people being a danger to minors, people that are lolcows, people that have committed just various atrocious different things. I mean, he's covered Jupiter, he covered Cyrax, he covered freaking White Bowser. So like there's three individuals right there that like they have like known things that they've done. And so and if you're wondering, the whole thing with Cyrax, Blind Billy story, definitely recommend looking into that if you want to talk about some degenerate stuff. And like cry bullying. But companies these days will look your name up on the internet. False accusations can seriously affect your ability to find a good job. I agree with that guy. I very much agree with that. And that's why I feel like it's my biggest pet peeve with all of this is that he knew better. This person knew better. I have no shame in pointing and laughing at somebody that you can sit there and say that, you know, people like Cyrax and people like Jupiter and all of them, they're mentally disabled and may not have their full faculties available to where they know what they're doing is actually wrong. Or they may have the mental aptitude of somebody of the age that they're talking to, in which case it kind of becomes a little more gray and harder to sit there and like be like, oh no, they're awful. Even though, yes, it's awful. Like, no like mincing of words here. Like, you should not be that old. Like, they deserve to have somebody in their life telling them why this is a bad idea. But I feel like there's a lot more grace that can be given to somebody that is maybe not having the mental wherewithal to know that what they're doing is a bad idea. Specifically, I think of like Jupiter. I wonder there. I also wonder with Chris Chan, like, they just don't have the proper mental faculties to understand that what they're doing is wrong and here's why it's wrong. Like, I don't think they could stand in a court and defend themselves if they had to in any way, shape, or form. But that being said, again, like I said, you know, they should have people in their life that are guiding them in the right direction to understand why those things are wrong. With Nate knew better. Nate is an older individual. He covered these people in depth. He literally had every person in his corner that was the best person in that instance to tell you, hey, this is why this is a bad idea. He had so many resources that he could have asked like opinions on and everything else, and his solution was to just shit all over all of that.
This clearly didn't go in his favor, because just 25 minutes after he posted this video, he would delete his entire channel. Smokey was able to give Nate some sage Hawaiian advice before he nuked his whole channel though. Nate, I don't get it. You knew the Bowser story well enough to make an hour-long documentary. I just watched this video again and you literally sound like Earl. I get that in your mind, everyone else is crazy, but I guarantee you I'm not the only one who makes that correlation. If you want to try and explain yourself, don't do it in a video like this. Let people ask you questions. I'm sure plenty of shows would have you on to explain yourself.
And to Smokey's benefit, I think he actually probably, being that it was someone coming to them in good faith, I think it was probably, they weren't trying to be disingenuous towards this guy when they're saying, no, come talk to us. We would have talked to you. We would have had you on. We could have had you explain this stuff. I don't think they're doing it disingenuously. I mean, they're going to pick on you. And if you're not thick-skinned enough in order to be able to take being picked on when you're the one that can sit there and do the picking, that's a bigger you problem. But I think they would have at least given him a fair shake as far as hearing his part and understanding why and maybe explaining things to him. But just as things came out, it became worse and worse and worse and worse. And like the Beans chat, okay? Again, I had a special area that I had in my Discord for a short period of time that was not safe for work. It was a lockdown channel. You had to have a role that I granted you in order to even see that channel. And I only granted that to people that I knew were over the age of 18. And you know what? It just became a liability for me, and I could see that it was going to be a liability. So what I got rid of the fucking channel. And you know what? I really don't think anything got even posted in there. I don't even think I think maybe a description of the channel got posted in there. And the whole thing with that was that some of the content that I've been looking into, which is something for a later stream. Hey, we're going to touch on that now. I've got some things that I'm looking at for later streams that are not going to be safe for work as far as like the content that I'm going to cover. I'm looking into a story right now that really kind of interests me. It's been a back and forth going on for a little bit, about a year now, with a couple people, but the subject matters that they touch on are really, really, really hard, and I'm going to have a lot of content warnings when we do get to that stream that are going to come out beforehand. So if that's stuff that bothers you, I would suggest not checking that stream out, not tuning into that one. But it's really interesting. But yeah, the plug for a later show. I don't know when though.
If you just make this statement and run, it's only going to make you look more guilty. So, as of right now, NateDawg has disappeared. He's deleted his YouTube, his Twitter, and his Discord is currently private. Nothing says not guilty like deleting all of your stuff and then hiding. This is not where the story ends, however. On the same day Nate would post his apology video and delete his channel, I would do a live stream covering the entire thing that went down.
Okay, so this is the original stream. Me and 200 people watched this, apparently. I'm just saying that because there's 201. But that this is a re-upload of that stream. Kind of working on having this be a thing, but I'll make a playlist. I'll have all this available if anybody wants to go and check it out. Because it did take a little bit to find some of these things. There is some other things that I'm not going to cover. Like there was a recent episode with Nick Nobody was on with Smokey and Kiwi when they did episode 47 of the Too High for Stupid podcast. Let's see here. We got that is a ridiculous argument. You have to throw at you by your community that had no problem with swatting people and harassing them to suicide. You delete it as well. I get what you're meaning, but I feel like you play devil's advocate a lot, and I don't mind having a contrarian in the chat at all. I like that you're going to bring in a perspective that maybe not everybody is going to think of. So to answer you, I don't think it's a ridiculous argument. I can see your point of view that you're coming from, where you're thinking that these are going to be people that will throw allegations at them and everything else. But realize this is another one of those situations where NateDawg came out, said a bunch of stuff, was given a bunch of there was lines made in the sand, and he kept stepping over that line in the sand. So he came in and said a bunch of audacious things, was kicked out, and this occurred 20 plus times before he came in and basically said that I'm not sorry for anything I just said. And that is all what triggered them to be like, okay, this guy's acting fucking weird. We should look into him. I guarantee you if he stopped at any point in time, some of this stuff probably would have still come out. He still might have left the internet. I mean, he still might have gone down the course of action that he went down. But if he had stopped at any point in time to think for what was going on and um, maybe took heed, talked to let cooler minds prevail is kind of the saying that I think of, and came back, he probably would still be working with Nick right now. Probably. I mean, if this stuff came out, probably not. That's where I agree with you, and I see with where you're coming from. But I don't think it's an unfair argument. I think that him doing what he did just made it worse. Yeah, and I get where you're coming from, Gay. With my comment was only about using that as evidence, deleting his content. Yeah, and the thing that sucks is that, like, he didn't have the courtesy of even, like, okay, his apology and his explanation was not that great. And he came out with all this stuff that he threw out there into the world. Like, he just flung it out there. He didn't have to. He kept trying to do this, like, coded person A, B, C, D, E. Okay, whatever. He could have stuck with that. Left all of the content and that he brought to the table out of this. And maybe explained and articulated himself a little bit better. And I bet you this would have probably been a null issue. It just became really suspicious with all the stuff that he brought out. When you stop and start looking at things, then you have a comedy of errors is the term that comes to mind. Basically, it's funny how all these errors built up in a way that basically just proved him in the light that of what he is. So you have him coming into the Discord doing all what he did. That led to him eventually getting banned. That ban had people's eyebrows raised, and they went in and they started looking at his stuff. And then he has his non-apologies that he did. So all of that leads to him making a video overnight, from what I understand, coming back, posting that video, and leaving it up for a half an hour, and then nuking everything because he's afraid of what's now going to be found. And it's all stuff based on things that he put out into the world. Like, literally, it is a comedy of errors. Oh no, did I start this? Oh no, this is the wrong stream. Good lord.
And less than 12 hours after this stream ended, it would be mass flagged for harassment and cyberbullying and would be taken down by YouTube. And I can only wonder who's behind that. The last insane thing that happened in this story is a troll named Spooky managed to get Cyrax to talk about NateDawg.
This is kind of funny. It's the typical YouTuber mistake. You do something wrong, your response in such a way that it raises some more alarm bells and people dig deeper. Exactly. It's kind of like what happened with the completionist stuff, which I do have an intention of covering that eventually, because I actually have a unique perspective that I can offer on that with, I work in an accounting background. My wife actually works in for a company that is a charity, and this charity provides multitude of services along with being accounting for different other charities. So she's very, 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 very well acquainted with how to look into charities and their accounting and things like that. So we've got some pretty interesting stuff that I'll be able to bring to the table with that. But yeah, if you look at Gerard and what happened with Muda, and they gave him a chance, and he basically had a weird apology, and his weird apology kind of caused things to be dug into deeper, and from that you've now got it looking like even worse. I've been so heavily into that drama. I'll have to hear your take on it. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, we got a pretty interesting thing, and I found some, thanks to my wife, I found some lovely things that I'm putting together as far as like the nicest ways to digest information, and I'm going to try and break down some of the accounting side of it a little bit more, so that way it's not got the big and scary to it, because accounting is really not big and scary.
Well, first off, dude, obviously I do have friends that are, in the first community that are genuinely good people. So like you doing that, bro, you're making them look bad, bro. Like, you're giving that community a bad fucking name, first off.
So even Cyrex disavows of Nate at this point. The guy who essayed Blind Billy even disavows of you. That's never a good thing. By the way, a thing that I've heard about, I've not looked into, I've heard he's been VTubing. Like, actually has a ring and everything.
That's not good. Second off, how are you gonna go after white dogs when you yourself are a literal known pedo, bro? Like, what the fuck is up with that?
I just find that so funny.
Like, that's just... Nah, that's... You can't be doing that, bro.
All they need is for King Cobra to be like, fuck you, Nate Dogg, fuck all sickos.
He got caught over a game of Uno because he got salty because he was losing Uno.
Really? Wait, how the hell do you get caught during a game of Uno, bro? What the fuck? And the Nate Dogg, listen, bro, if you want to talk shit about me, go ahead. I don't fucking care. Because I don't know who you are. You're not even a blip on my fucking radar, dude. Like, I am literally, and even...
I like how his green hat is what makes you angry, Teddy. There's so much more about this guy that should make you angry other than that hat.
Both of you can attest to this. Unlike you, dog, I am literally a worldwide name, man. Like, I am known all over the fucking world. And my name has been fucking clear.
When you look up narcissist, there's, depending, if you got the pocket dictionary, you get a picture of Cyrex.
By the way. Thank you to Tibbs. What up, Tibbs? But, yeah, like, you're fucking with the wrong people on this one, dude. You don't think that I don't have the manpower to call your ass out? Oh, trust me, I've got the manpower to do so, boy. And I will do so. If you do not stop your fucking shit, I will personally call you the fuck out and put your shit to shame, dude, because what you're doing ain't cool.
I love how fashion is your line, Teddy.
And I'll be honest, man, if I had it my way, and I think we all can agree with this, anybody that is like you, Nate, deserves to have your fucking ass beat. Like, straight up. Like, you deserve to have your ass handed to you on a silver platter. And I think you and Spooky can agree with that one. They're weird motherfuckers that need to be put down like the little bitch dogs that they are. Hey, Nate, all I gotta say to you, man, is don't drop the salt in the jail, big homie. Because trust me when I say, they do not take kindly to pedos in prison, dude. They will fuck your ass up. Good luck surviving, bitch. Your career, what career? Your career's done. When you did what you did, that's the moment that you killed your fucking career, dude.
I wanted everyone to know.
You mean the little pedo puppy?
The pedo puppy? Is that what you called him?
I could have never imagined we would get Cyrax calling Nate out, but we did. And that's where...
So... yeah. Teddy. Cyrex did actually assault someone. Unfortunately, fortunately for that person, they're blind, but unfortunately they're not deaf, and they can hear what everybody's told him about how this person looks. Cyrex just keeps going. This is where I can appreciate Cobra just going, fuck sickos, dude, and then crying over Puff. Right? Yeah, Cyrex just thinks he's got main character syndrome hardcore.
Where the story of Nate Dogg ends. For now. Thank you for watching my video. I'm Nick Nobody, and until next week, I'm out.
So, we're going to cover one other video here. So, if you want, like I said, we've got Nick's big stream, like, to give you an idea, I want to kind of, like, Nick was going off. Hey, look, me not muting.
One, because if Nate's gonna put it in his video that he now deleted, I might as well show you what went down. Ding, 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 ding. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. The whole person, Teddy, is a garbage individual. They've tried throwing him in the trash, and apparently he just oozes back out and upstairs to his little troll loft. And yeah, you know what? Sometime, Teddy, I will bless you with the forever giving knowledge that is knowing about Cyrex in this world, and Cyrex's music. Let me tell you, because you've not heard, like, you've heard of, Heavenly Angels, and there's Heavenly Angels, the Lord's Choir, Cyrex. At least in his mind.
Share screen.
I kind of want to get to where some of the Nick
What the
goes.
pixels?
And I didn't care
SpongeBob.
about the money, and I didn't care about the deals or anything like that. I even told Nick that I wanted to repay him from all of the money that I have made on the podcast that we had together. But going
Ironically, hats are a big trend in the Cyrex world. Not that color, though, thankfully.
back to main subject,
Yeah, well, hey, dude, why even include that in your apology other to make yourself sound better? Listen, I'm a good guy. I even offered to give back all the money. Yeah, oh, fuck yourself.
just so we can't get off track.
As you can tell, Nick was kind of like fucking over this guy at this point. Like, this was, there's a couple even songs here. Like, we gotta listen to the song. Come on, now. As you can hear, there's a whole song that goes with this. The donos are so worth it to like go through and reading this. But Biff the Wolfman, I kind of want to.
I'm a good bunny, though. Yeah, totally not. Yeah, Zippy, great point. I got so sideswiped by the proof. I'm a very good bunny. yeah. These aren't inappropriate. There's more. There's even more. We'll read even more DMs in his Discord or in his apology video because he leaks all of them in his apology too. He thought this exonerated him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as you can see, Biff is in the chat and is a chatter for like Nick and Smokey, Kiwi, a few different people. So Biff actually made a video. Biff's actually got some pretty good content. So shout out to this guy. He's really got some fucking good ones out there. But this is the one we're looking at. It's the Birth of a Lolcow one. He's just got some very unusual people that he covers, but shout out to Biff. We're going to watch this really quick because I think Biff does a pretty good job of covering, I think, this is just the apology. BFI played the video. Where was I that I saw someone that I knew come up? I was watching a Medicare stream, and there's somebody on Twitter that I know that I'm pretty sure it has to be an old username because they're way too similar, popped up and was saying things, and this was related to Tonka Saw, because I was looking into Tonka Saw, and that whole Andy Worski Tonka Saw thing, because I've always been kind of curious about that. So I've had it happen, Teddy. I've had it happen. Not with you yet, but I'm sure at some point that's going to come up. Just like Teddy, you were my favorite video coming into the sphere because you edited my my argument that I generated together from Tommy C and Dave, Dead on Dave. You were the one that put together a supercut on that, and that's still favorited. Come on. Oh, mute again.
Started as observers in the community and ended up getting mad at people on Discord, which led to their downfall. I remember when the Bowser stuff was going on, and this one feels more personal, probably because I talked to Nate a few times. In this video, we're going to look at a little bit about what Nate did, then dissect his apology video. If you want a more in-depth view of what happened from
Yes, that is still one of my favorite titles on a video.
people that were on the inside, check out Nick Nobody's stream. I'll link it in the video description.
By the way,
So as I said, it started with Nate going off on some moderate.
Biff has a fantastic voice as well.
In Nick Nobody's Discord server. After trying to smooth that over with a bit of gaslighting, things calmed down until not too long afterwards when they decided to play Uno, and Nate just went crazy. This led to people involved looking deeper into Nate, and they discovered some interesting things. Like he had minors on his Discord server, including a few he had invited for some reason. You see, Nate had it set up that to join his server you had to answer some questions. One being...
See, we're just going to go over the beginning of this video. I don't want to cover the whole thing because he goes into Nate's apology.
Being your age. The investigators were able to get their hands on some of them, so let's take a look at these questions. Let's start with the worst for first. Notice how NateDawg is the one who accepted this user. First question, how did you find out about the server? The owner. Second, what is your age? 16, but I'll turn 17 in a few weeks. What is your favorite video of NateDawg's? I've only watched like 2, so I don't know enough to say I have a favorite. What's the dog doing? Cuddling with me. Okay, that's not creepy at all. No, wait, I take that back. That's incredibly creepy. What the hell, Nate? Alright.
And this was just over a year ago.
Let's look into the other one. Once again, approved by NateDawg. How did you find the server? Owner.
There is an even worse one that is in the live stream where it's a 13-year-old, I believe.
DM'd me. What is your age? 15. What is your favorite DM'd about my Discord server? 0. And my server has a rule that no one under 18 is allowed. I thought Nate had the same rule. I mean, that's why I thought he was asking the ages, but apparently not. Another damning bit of evidence is he had roles on his Discord server for whether you were single, taken, or looking, stuff like that. Why would you have that on a Discord server that you let minors into? And let's not forget about this little part down here. NateDawg saying, no discussing of ages in the server, please. That might be the most damning part of it all.
Chief Dunga.
There's a lot more to it, but like I said, check out Nick Nobody's stream for that because he really, really digs deep. For this video, I want to look closer into the apology that NateDawg uploaded before he nuked all of his content. His YouTube channel, his Discord server. Hell, he even nuked his Reddit account. So let's look.
I didn't know about that until I watched Biff's video, by the way. I didn't know he nuked his Reddit account too.
Look at that apology video now.
Attention.
Okay, so I just wanted to show that beginning part, but Biff the Wolfman, go check him out. Seriously, got some pretty good content. Goes over some lesser known Lolcows and stuff. Kind of some really, really, really funny stuff out there. And then just Nick mentioning in here that the stream was re-uploaded to his archive channel. Reason being is that while Nate has disappeared from the internet, he apparently is still lurking around in background in the shadows with his furry suit on, and he's reported the fucking stream that Nick did and got it taken down. And now, mind you, I watched a majority of that stream, and there wasn't anything in there that really was like a no-fly zone for fucking content. But, oh, it looks like we've kind of reached the end of stuff here. So, I know Biff from Back to the Future. Wrong one. This guy's not covered in manure. Although, as you've seen, it's just as dangerous being around it with Lolcows. But yeah, I definitely want to cover the Tonka Saw stuff at some point in time. That whole situation is hilarious. It's hard because there's a lot of things that kind of got buried with like 2018 and nuking of YouTubes and stuff like that. So trying to find like solid congruative content on that is a bit tough right now. But
yeah, Biff, he thought
there was something else I wanted to cover with this. And oh, by the way, this was a fantastic fantastic fan art done. Just want to shout that out. Spooky. This is Spooky that you heard on Cyrex's stream in Nick's other video. And they're saying even Kuro fought back. If you don't know, Kuro is another furry that I don't know if I'm going to ever talk about they did some pretty deplorable stuff. Like, really genuinely, like, it gets into content that I don't like covering. I would suggest looking at Turkey Tom if you want to find out more info on Kuro and a couple other different Kuro, and then there was someone else. Tom. That basically sums up our coverage on NateDawg. Pretty awful dude. Unless some other information comes out in the future, I'll follow up on a future live stream. I appreciate everybody that came out and supported. Yeah, screw this guy, and hopefully he stays away from the internet as well as stays away from the kids. Anyway, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe, and I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, and have a happy holidays.